So I'm going to jump into the video. Before I do, I just want to say this isn't like I'm going to slag off my ex-husband. I'm going to tell you how he did me wrong. This is an absolute journey for me. It happened 5 years ago. My 8-week marriage. So, are you sitting comfortably? We're going to do a story time. I'm going to do it for you. I've actually already done it. I recorded it a minute ago. Oh, I didn't cry. Spoiler alert. Did I, though? So, I met my ex when I was 18. I'm 29 now. My expectations of relationships was not fully developed yet. You don't know what you want. You don't know what you want out of a partner. You don't know what you want out of a father of your child. You don't know any of this. We start dating. It's great. We like music. We like art. We like films. We like TV. Like all the stuff I like now, really. 1-2 years into our relationship, we actually broke up. We broke up on a Mother's Day. My mum came up to Birmingham. She picked me up. I was devastated. We sort of met up again and decided to give it another go. Shortly after that, I fell pregnant with our son, Noah. You may have seen him previously in other videos. Just before he turned 1, things had been deteriorating on both sides, I think. I suffered really badly with postnatal depression. Bad situations happened with his family. I didn't feel supported. I didn't feel safe. So we moved back to where we live now. So I knew I wanted to get married. I knew from growing up in sort of the Mormon LDS religion that, in my opinion, families should stay together. My parents had always been together right up until my dad passed away. My ex had a completely polarized view on relationships. We had our issues. The relationship that I was in was very toxic. Everything in me wanted to make this person happy. All I wanted to do. I loved him so much. I loved him to the bottom of my heart, and it chipped and chipped and chipped and chipped and chipped away from me in such a way that I just felt like an empty shell, just clinging on to what I thought was what I was meant to do. As a Mormon woman, you stick by your husband. It's there, it's in my head, and I still have those sort of moments where I feel that I'm not good enough because I can't make people happy. And that's what I felt a lot of that relationship was like, it's me. I'm the one. He doesn't want to be with me because I'm not doing something. I should be doing more. I should be doing this. Probably one of the hardest times of my life to feel that way, when I thought through everything, the media, other mums, that I should feel so happy and blessed to have this family, and we've got this perfect family. From the outside looking in, we did. People said, like, you've got this perfect family, you all get on so well, you're fabulous. I started going to counselling. It was fantastic. I would recommend it to anyone. I had so much to unpackage. And I learned something on that, like through counselling, is I'm not capable of making anyone happy. Apart from me, I can be a contributor to someone's happiness. And I thought, yeah, I am no good to anyone like this. I feel empty. I started working on myself. I started getting a little bit more confident in who I am and what I wanted out of life. I said, you know what? If we're not going to get married and we're not going to make this family, and I'm not going to have that commitment from you, because that's what I wanted. I was not secure in this relationship. And in my head at that moment was, if we get married, that is, he's committing to me and I can do this then. And he said, no, we're not getting married. And I thought, that's it then, isn't it? We're going to break up and I'm going to start again. It wasn't an ultimatum. It wasn't anything like that. It was just saying what I wanted, what I needed to be secure and feel safe in my relationship. I put myself down the pub where my family were. I had a bit of a cry and I had a few drinks and I let myself simmer down, which is fine. So I go back home, fall asleep. Next morning, get woken up by a cup of tea, and he says, I've changed my mind, will you marry me? Retrospectively, Looking at that, I should have said no. So I said yes. We're engaged for maybe, I think probably a year, maybe a little bit over, while we were planning the wedding and things. We moved into a lovely new house and we started planning a wedding. It wasn't really an exciting time for us. There was a lot of flip-flopping of like, oh, I don't know if I want to get married anymore, or oh no, I do want to get married. Oh no, this. There was a lot of that, and I don't know if I was 100% helpful in that situation, because it's what I wanted. I was pushing for it. I was pushing for this wedding because it meant that my relationship would be secure, and I thought it would make me feel secure. So we get married. Our friends and family, my dad gave me away, which leaves a slight bitter taste in my mouth because he's no longer with us, and I know he won't be able to walk me down the aisle this time where I feel so secure. So our families came together. We got married in the church, which I'd grown up in, for sentimental reasons. And then we went and had a big barn wedding where I did the flowers myself. I made the invitations. We had a beautiful high tea, which his brother helped prepare. It was a big family affair and it was a fantastic day. It just was. It was really, really great. Shortly after that, we moved out of our rented accommodation and we'd jointly decided that we was going to start saving for a house. So we moved back into my family home. A few weeks later, 8 weeks later, we went to see this band. My sister got us the tickets for our wedding present. She was there, her husband was there, my ex and I were there. He went off and took photos all evening. We didn't spend the evening together or anything. And I stood with my sister and her husband. And I was like, I was fine. I was enjoying myself. I thought, oh, fuck off if you want to fuck off. I didn't care. I love this band. I love the music. I had a really great time. After that, we popped to another pub. We had a drink with some of his friends because that's what he wanted. And then he's like, oh, I want to get a kebab. Okay, let's go get a kebab. Kebab shop he wanted to go to was closed. And he kicked off. And I was like, why are you being like this? What? We'll go to a different kebab shop. I don't want to go to a different kebab shop. Blah, you know, back and forth. It was ridiculous. You're not behaving like this because of a kebab shop, surely, right? And he was like, no, I'm not. Something like that. I don't want to be with you anymore. That's cool. Let's go home. Then it kicked off. The dramatics kicked in. He was like, that's right, you don't fight for anything anymore, you don't care, you're like Mary Poppins, you've got no emotions, you're just hurling it out. And I was like, you know what, I'm not gonna chase a dead horse, let's go home, I'm done with this, I'm not doing it. And I think that really shows where I was at that point and how it had finally sunk in that there was nothing I could do to be secure in this relationship. I felt like I'd been tiptoeing for 7 years. I'm like, you can stay until after Christmas. I want our son to have us together for his last Christmas. My mum wasn't happy, my dad wasn't happy. They wanted to kick him out, but they respected what I was saying and sort of just took my lead on things, which I am eternally grateful for, because I feel like it would have made it so much more difficult had they have gotten involved too much. They were just there for me, really, and it was perfect. Maybe like a week after, I was like, you're gonna have to go, I can't do this, I can't share a bed with you, I don't want to. So he moved back in with his parents. So I started moving on. I found myself my own place. I moved out of my parents' house. They said I could stay as long as I wanted, but I'm quite an independent person. And I started letting loose. Especially, I didn't have my son all the time. He was at his dad's. So when he was at his dad's, I went up and met friends. I realised that I hadn't had a lot of friends up until then. I had some really good ones, but I didn't have like a group of friends to support me. So I felt good. I felt good that I wasn't in that relationship, but I felt bad that I didn't have my family, and that is a weird headspace to be in. I think there came a time when he was asking for me back. He wanted to get back together. He met up with my mum. He was saying, you don't know, well, I want to get back together, I want my family, I want everything to go back to normal, I want my life back, I want this, I want that. But like, the one thing he just never said to me or my mum or anyone else was, I love you, I want to be with you. The main thing I've taken from this whole experience is how important honesty and reflection is. I think it was maybe 2 years after we separated that I sort of sat myself down and was like, you need to have a word with yourself. You need to be honest now, because you're holding on. You're a bitter bitch. You are bitter. He's taken your family, he's taken this, he's screwed you over, he's been a prick. And you know what, he was all of those things, he was a prick, but I had a part to play. It may not have been a malicious part, neither might his. I can't speak for him. I never asked him why he broke up with me. Is anything fair? Is it fair on Noah that his mum and dad aren't together? Is it fair that all these wonderful people, our friends and family, came to a wedding that lasted all of 8 weeks? Nothing's fair. It's not, relationships aren't about being fair. It's about being honest. It's about open communication. It's about being in a safe space where you trust someone, and neither of us were in that space. I learned a lot about myself, and I learned how to not let that happen again. And now I feel so strong, and not just strong, but capable of anything. I'm in a space where I lie in bed at night next to my partner and I don't think anyone could be as happy as me or as secure in their relationship as I. And I'm so excited for like what we've got in the future, to be in a relationship which is so supportive, where I can say, babe, I'm gonna go make these YouTube videos now, and he's like, yeah, fucking go for it, babe, you'll be great at that, and fully support me in this weird little thing that I'm doing, which isn't making any money. It's not benefiting anyone apart from me, because I feel creative and I feel like I have an outlet that is outside of my relationship and my child. It brings me joy. We have so much to look forward to, and so does everyone else who's going through the exact same thing that I went through. And I know I didn't go into the nitty-gritty details of what happened to me, of the bad things, because it's irrelevant. I felt how I felt and I worked through it, and it took 3 years for me to feel secure enough to enter a relationship and try again, but it was worth it. And you come out the other end and you feel so much stronger and so much more capable. Right, if you enjoy this kind of content, let me know, because I have story times aplenty. I've got so many story times, I could write a very small book, but I have them. The antics of an ex-LDS Mormon, then you just let me know and I'll bloody tell him. I love a story, me. I love a story. Good story. No. Oh, love a good story. But you have to subscribe first. Promise? Right. I'll tell you anyway. Love you guys. Stay weird, bitches. Good chat. Bye.